Yo, JD here, Till Lewis, and as you can see by today's video title, we are going to be trying something out that I've wanted to do for a very long time now. This isn't the first time this is coming around. Quite a few people have done this in the past, and I was tweeted this the other day actually by someone saying that this is the hardest track and settings to do it on. And what we're going to do here is to race against the 0% AI. And this is going to be around Spa, 25%, and apparently it's almost next to impossible to do as well, and anyone who's tried it has failed it as well. So I thought I'd just do this just to see how good or how bad the actual 0% AI is, because I've never ever done it before. And just to make it even harder, we're going to run a default setup as well. And the idea of this is that we're going to let the whole field actually lap us once, and then as soon as the last car goes past us, then we're just going to go flat out, obviously making that compulsory pit stop to the end of the race. So starting on pole position at the moment on the ultra soft tyres, but we're just going to pull over, let everyone come through now, and now it's just a case of waiting for how long the 0% AI takes to get round. But from what I've been told, they are incredibly slow compared to obviously the 110% ultimate. But in terms of how slow they are, something I don't know at all at this point. So just got to wait for them to come around, trying not to get a penalty as well, stopping on track. So we've got to move forward ever so slightly. But now scrolling on a couple of minutes, just having some fun, just chilling on the edge of the track. And now they should be coming through any time, as Vettel I think is going to be leading this race. So yep, he has just done a 2-minute 2. It's an absolutely insane first lap. Looks like he's got a couple second lead on whoever's in second place. So we're going to let all these cars go. So it's Vettel and Bottas. Our teammate is in second place. Absolute shock. So we're going to let the whole field go. We're quite bunched up still as well, which is good for us actually, in the sense of rather than being completely spread out. So now the Sauber of Ericsson has now come past us. He's on the super soft tyres actually, and now we've just got to get through this with the default setup, as you can see down below, as quickly as possible. And wow, I don't know, I think they're actually braking going up there, so they are painfully slow already going through that corner. So anyone who's jumping on this game don't think would ever be using this as well. Almost at almost spin already straight away. That curb, something you definitely do not want to go on going around Spa. So making our way through the field now, obviously still a lap down, so we've got to unlap ourselves before we make up any position on these cars. Going around the outside of Magnussen, and now Palmer just going down the inside there, just leaving a little bit of room, but the AI do jump out of the way, which I knew, which I saw in your 2018 game ideas video, that you definitely wanted them to be more aggressive. But obviously in this occasion, running 0% AI, you're not really going to expect them to be aggressive, because this kind of AI setting is, you know, the game's advertised as 3 years old, so maybe a 3-year-old would probably be going against this AI, because to be honest, if you can't beat this AI in the Mercedes, then I think racing games is not really the game for you. But you obviously got to start somewhere. If it makes you comfortable, then fine, fair enough. But I think most people would probably be maybe starting at the 50-60 mark if they just had no experience at all. But going down here, they're braking about 200 meters before the corner, but we're braking 100 meters going into it now. Vettel crosses the line. I think they've just got Bottas and Vettel ahead of us, so we've almost unlapped ourselves already. So now coming to the back of our teammate, and I think he's fallen asleep at the wheel. I don't know what he's not pressing the accelerator, because he is just completely just nodded off coming off that corner. But going up Eau Rouge now, probably said that wrong, someone will probably point out to me in the comments, but going completely flat out, and I don't know if he could possibly outbrake him here. You'd like to think you wouldn't, but coming at the end of the sector 1 split, going purple, avoiding this curb this time, and now going down the inside for this as it leaves the door open. Super soft tyres there on as well, and now it's just a case of catching up and just seeing what we can do. Before we do that, as always in a video, I like to include my fastest lap, and I'll go for a little talk for this lap. So 100-minute board going into this, do mid apex, really not too late but not too early. Running out onto this curb's fine. Keep nice and tight to this and try and minimise the distance, so stay about middle of the track. Using this curb as that finishes, that's your turning point going up through here. Try and needle it, or needle through a haystack through here. Just try and thread the car through here to avoid any loss of speed at all. Try and be as smooth as possible. But for this corner now, I'll be looking at the second brake marker board, the 100-meter board. As you pass that, do a late apex into here. Stay nice and tight to this. As the curb starts, or just afterwards, go through this in 5th gear. Hesitate on the throttle, but almost flat out. As the curb starts for this, that's your braking point. Try and hit mid-apex. You can let it drift out, but let it come back again. Coming into this now, just before the green sign. Late apex, 4th gear through here now. And for this corner, with a setup, it would be flat out, but with this, after the 50-meter board, about 30 meters before the corner, do a little lift in 7th gear for this. Going up into 8th gear for this one. As the curb starts for this, that one will be braking. 4th gear, very late apex. Just after the green board, that's your turning in point into here. Going up into 6th now. Curb again, that's your brake point. Another late apex. Coming through here, completely flat out through this corner. Very, very easy flat out. And now it's a case of, again, trying to really thread the car through these corners. Just try and be as smooth as possible, just to not lose any straight line speed at all. Going through here, very comfortable flat out. But now coming into the bus stop corner, I want to be braking at the 100-meter board. As soon as you hit that, really try and attack this. You can go more on the curve for this one for sure. Don't run onto that, because that will definitely give you some wheel spin on the exit curb. And we did a 47.1 with default, which was a pretty good time, I think, actually. But now, skipping on ahead into this race, who still haven't actually caught the back of the pack yet. They're just going on to the main straight, so almost halfway distance. I think it's going to be quite nip and tuck, because from what other people's videos I've seen, they finished, I think, 3rd or 4th, and they were still quite a way behind the leaders. So they needed another 2 laps really, so it's definitely proving to be a challenge. Been very consistent in this race, been hitting low 47s all the time, so having to really actually push the cars. I can tell this is definitely, well, you can maybe call it a challenge video, but as we actually go out wide, there's a corner cutting, but we actually lifted off just to negate any advantage. So kind of take this seriously and fair in a way as well, but having to push the car every lap, because if we were inconsistent, then I think this would actually be quite a difficult task to do, which is a reason why people said this is probably the most hardest track to do it on, because of the least amount of laps really compared to any other track. But even though it's a long lap, least amount of laps, so but now we've finally overtaken someone. We've actually overtaken Wehrlein, and I think Carlos Sainz has actually gone at the race as well, so I think he has actually at this point, but at this point we have definitely just overtaken Wehrlein, so that's into P18, and I think, yeah, Ericsson is actually pitted now, so that's another 2 positions. And now coming behind Van Dorn, and you'd think this probably wouldn't be an overtaking spot, but yeah, they just brake so early and no real aggression from the AI going into the corner. So I think the AI's fastest lap was like a 59 or 159, which is 12 seconds slower. You know, that's, you know, I know there's 0% AI, I know what it says, but let me know if you think that's too slow or not. I guess if you, no, maybe playing blindfolded maybe, but coming through into here now, Grosjean, that's another position up coming into here, and now we've got Fernando Alonso as our teammate is now just going into the pits with 3 laps to go. Outside of Alonso into here now, left-hander, can't want to get away from us, but yeah, as I said, I think, you know, maybe 0% AI should definitely be this, but I can't imagine anyone ever using a setting, but nonetheless having a lot of fun doing this little video at the moment. And now we're going side by side Magnussen, who's still been seemingly quite aggressive going to his, you know, he's actually carrying decent speed compared to other AI, so maybe there's a new update where, you know, certain drivers are being more aggressive. But now we're going to go down the inside of Massa, and that's a really nice move going into that last corner, which I felt, you know, was pretty actually satisfying, that move from quite a long way back. So just braking really, really late, letting the car overshoot, going into the last corner, getting the inside line, and now starting a lap, which I think we've got, you know, 2 laps of the race now to go. We're in 9th place, so managing to pretty much get half the cars on the grid. And now I think a few people pitted as well, as Ocon is coming out of the pits, but now his teammate we're focusing on going up through El Rouge, going left hand side, doing the Mark Webber going up here, holding around the outside, and that is a move done completely. If that was against 110% AI, I think that probably would have been a crash on that occasion. But now we're behind Nico Hulkenberg. Don't think we're going to be quite close enough for a dive bomb here, which, well, we weren't that far away. Going for a left-hander, and now that's a move into 6th place with 2 laps of this race now to go. And you can see we've got a couple of cars ahead of us, which I was thinking we should probably definitely get on this lap. So now we've got Ricciardo. I think it's the Red Bull pair, Ricciardo and Verstappen ahead of us. So coming on through corner of no name, and now going to Pouhon. Probably a nice little lift going through into here. Yep, just a slight lift on the inside, and that's us into 5th place. And now Verstappen. Let's see if we can try and get him before the last sector, just to see how poor the AI's pace is. It's just 12 seconds a lap slower. It's just unbelievable how slow they are. About 4 seconds a sector pretty much then. Going through here now, not going to go down the inside, but just got to hold it flat out, round the outside, almost a little bit of contact, but now that's us into 4th place. And now catching Kimi Raikkonen. This is the penultimate lap of the race, we've got another lap after this. Going for the end of sector 1, going purple, going through this left-hander, not quite flat out, but going to 5th gear through here. And he's actually moving over, so I think he's just conceding the position already. AI just had enough really, just don't want to fight anyone at this point. And now going through the corner no name, as we actually pick up a warning, going off a track and exit, and now that is a penalty, and now we've got a 3-second time penalty to actually slap on the top of our race as well. Just didn't really want to use a flashback or anything there, just wanted to really keep it running, just make it, you know, my own mistakes, and might as well just keep it in there as well. But now coming through this, going into the last sector, this corner I personally love this one. To have to really shift down very late as we're squiggling around on the exit there. And now we're coming up towards our teammate, about a second or so behind us. Vettel is quite a long way ahead, and we've got a 3-second time penalty as well. So despite being, you know, that much faster per lap, I think that's, I'm not quite sure how many seconds that is. It could be actually quite tight for the end of this race. Overshooting the bus stop just ever so slightly, missing both apexes there. But now come off here, no DRS actually, funnily enough, but now cruising past our teammate, who I think again has just fallen asleep. I think all the AI has just fallen asleep this race. I think they're just on the pit lane limited pretty much for the whole entire of this race. But we're going to stay on board to the end of this now, going up through one of my favourite corners in F1, which is somewhere I'd love to actually personally go myself in real life. But now coming onto this straight, and yeah, trying to max out. Got enough fuel left to the end of this race now. Tyres, no real issue in a 25%, but going purple once again, trying to beat that 47.1 which we did in the ultra soft tyre, but navigating these corners really nicely. Again, another corner I really do like, really have to let the camber of the corner do well for you. It's a actually quite a steep downhill corner in real life. We're coming onto this corner of no name, 4th gear, managing to stay within the limits this time, and now Vettel will go overtake him, but it's going to be quite an awkward place to overtake as he almost doesn't actually back out there. And that was pretty lucky, but now we've got to make up the 3 seconds, which you'd like to think about 4 seconds per sector is something we should definitely be comfortable doing. But now Van Dorn at his home race is about to be lapped again. Or I think that, well, he's being lapped. We unlapped ourselves from him, and now we've actually done the same favour in him, and 3.1 seconds ahead of Vettel. With the time penalty, like to think we'll probably make up a couple of seconds in the sector, so we're going to finish P1 in this race. And I just thought this was a little bit of a different video, just to really see how pretty much how awful the 0% AI is. So obviously let me know what you think. Do you think they should even bother with this setting really in future? Because I think it's a little bit too easy, and just demonstrating that there, being a lap down in a 25% to still come through and win with a default setup in the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. So that was a fun video to do, but I plan to do many more online videos and AOR when that comes back in a couple of weeks time. But as always, thank you for supporting my videos recently, really do appreciate it, and hope you enjoyed this video. Peace. How we gonna take